In this video, we will be learning how to solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Now, this would be the standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And if you want to solve for the variable x, one way to solve is to use the quadratic equation, which is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. And let's do an example. So let's say you have the equation x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0, and you want to solve for x. One way to solve it is by using the quadratic equation. So we can see in this example, our a value is 1 because essentially it is 1 times x to the power of 2. Our b value is equal to 5, and our c value is equal to 6. And looking at this formula, all we have to do is just plug in everything. So let's move this aside. So we know x is equal to minus b, so minus 5 plus or minus the square root of b, so it's 5 to the power of 2, minus 4, a is equal to 1, and then c is equal to 6. And then you divide all this by 2 times a, which is equal to 1. I'll put the 5 in bracket as well. And now we'll just solve for all of this. So x is equal to minus 5 plus or minus the square root of 5 to the power of 2 is 25, minus 4 times 1 times 6 is 24, over 2. And now let's just keep solving for this. So it is negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 1 over 2. And now that we're given the plus or minus sign, it means that this answer could have two solutions. So x could be equal to either, x is equal to either minus 5 plus the square root of 1 over 2, or x is equal to minus 5 minus the square root of 1 over 2. And let's just solve for this. So minus 5 plus the square root of 1 is 1 equals 2. And this is equal to minus 4 over 2, which is equal to minus 2. And then this other one is equal to minus 5 minus 1 over 2, which is equal to minus 6 over 2, which is equal to minus 3. So therefore, we have these two final answers. In other words, x is equal to minus 2 or minus 3. And here is our final answer. In our next example, we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. So our a value is 2, our b value is 3, our c value is negative 2. Now remember, the quadratic formula is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. All of this divided by 2a. So now we substitute everything in. So we have minus b, which is 3, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 3 squared, minus 4, a is 2, and c is negative 2, and then 2a, so 2 times 2. And now let's just solve for this. So we do minus 3 plus or minus the square root of 3 to the power of 2 is 9, minus 4 times 2 times minus 2 is equal to positive 16, over 2 times 2 is equal to 4, and then Now it would be negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 25 over 4, which is equal to minus 3 plus or minus 5 over 2. And this could have two solutions because we have a plus or minus sign. So the first one is negative 3 plus 5 over 4. This is equal to plus 2 over 4, which is equal to 1/2. The other answer is minus 3 minus 5 over 4, which is equal to minus 8 over 4, which is equal to minus 2. So x in this case will be equal to negative 2 or 1 over 2. And here is our final answer. In our next example, we could see that our a value is equal to 1. Our b value is equal to negative 4. Our c value is equal to 1. So when I do quadratic equations, I always like to write down the quadratic formula. So minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2. And this is equal to, minus 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 to the power of 2 minus 4ac, and then, so 2a, so 2 times 1. And then now let's just solve for everything. So minus 4, so plus 4, plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 4 over 2. And then this is equal to 4 plus or minus square root of 12 over 2. And then we could further simplify this into 4 plus or minus. And then since we have a root, it is 12. We have 2 times 2 times 3, which is equal to 2, over 2, sorry. And then we have 4 plus or minus, bring the 2 outside the root. So 2 times root 3 divided by 2. And then now we could further simplify this because it is a 2 at the bottom. So 2, and this will be equal to 2. So 2 plus or minus the square root of 3, which means that x could be equal to either 2 plus 3 or 2 minus root 3. And here is our final answer. In our next example, we have 3 times x to the power of 2 minus 1. So in this equation, a is equal to 3. We actually don't have a b value, so b is equal to 0, and then c is equal to negative 1. So let's write down the quadratic formula. So minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. If I have any tips, I would try to memorize the quadratic equation, and it will come very helpful. And so anyways, let's substitute everything. So it will be minus b, so minus 0, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 0 squared, minus 4ac. So 4 times a is 0 times c, negative 1. And this is over 2a, so 2 times 3. Now let's simplify everything. So solve. So we always have to keep the plus or minus sign. So plus or minus the square root of, so square root of 0 is 0. So minus 4 times 3 times minus 1 is equal to 12. And then over 2 times 3, so it's equal to 6. And then we have to simplify the square root. So this will be plus or minus 2 times root 3 over 6. And we can simplify this fraction. So it is So the bottom would be 3, the top will be 1. So it would be plus or minus 1 root 3 over 3, which is also equal to root 3. So plus or minus root 3 over 3. And x could have two answers. So x could either be plus root 3 over 3 or minus root 3 over 3. And with the positive sign, you obviously won't have that. So it would be root 3 over 3 or negative root 3 over 3. And here is our final answer. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.